Hey there, my name is Becky Miller. I'm a certified yoga therapist. I come to you each week with a quick tip. I know that we all lead busy lives, so I do keep these short for you. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about, we'll call this, what are those tears telling you? So I've been teaching yoga since 2006, so it's been a little while. And about 10 years into that, not quite 10 years, 9 years into that experience, I got really curious about what caused people to cry in class. It wasn't all the time. It wasn't in every pose. But sometimes there'd be a certain position. Often it involved the hips. But someone would have tears, and I got really curious about what that was all about. So that did start me on a journey of exploration. I ended up doing a lot more training and became a yoga therapist because of it, because I was just really curious what is going on in those situations. And so what I've learned is that your body stores emotions all over. So when you experience something, it's stored in your brain, but it's also stored in your body. And sometimes in a yoga class, what would happen would be that I would put someone in a particular position and we would connect into an emotion, an experience from the past. And that connecting into it would bring forth these emotions. So if it was sadness or something else that would evoke tears, that's what was happening. So again, often it involves the hips, because we do love to store difficult things in our hips. And so when I would have someone in one of these positions and they would be crying, often silent, usually silent tears, they're just connecting into something from their past. Now, often it can be a trauma. Traumas are definitely stored in the body as well as the brain. That's why as you are doing different movements in life, you can trigger a response, a trauma response. So that's really the short answer. What are those tears telling you? They are telling you that you've connected into something from your past that is still stored in your body and has not been resolved, not been dealt with. Sometimes those tears are just all you need in order to resolve it. Sometimes you need a little bit more help to resolve it. But those tears are telling you that there's something still stuck in your body that needs to be dealt with in some form or fashion. In my yoga therapy practice, I now do this. I do put people in positions to see what comes up. In the past, when I was leading a yoga class, that wasn't necessarily what I was doing. But now as a yoga therapist, I definitely am putting people into different positions to connect into those parts of their past that are still buried in the body, that are still causing issues. And yes, tears happen. Not all the time. Sometimes it's laughter, but it can be tears, and that's okay. It's a cleansing thing to happen. It tells us that we are connecting into something, there's something there, and you can deal with it. You can process it, you can resolve it, you can move on from it. It doesn't have to keep coming up for you. Often when we've connected into it, it actually loses some of the power or some of the hold that it had over you. So there is a positive effect out of connecting into it in that way. So what are those tears telling you? They're telling you that there's something that you still need to deal with, basically. And it doesn't have to be the hips. It can be, I've seen people cry just laying on their backs. I've seen it happen in all sorts of different positions. Again, your body stores things. Everything you experience gets stored in your body. And when we explore it, we can trigger things, and it's not a bad thing. Actually, I think it's a good thing because it tells us that there's something there, something to work with. So what are those tears telling you? If you've ever been in a yoga class and experienced tears, you know what I'm talking about. You know that you've connected into something. Probably you didn't know what it was. That's where I come in. I do help you figure that out. There's not time in a yoga class, especially if there's 15, 20 people in there to explore it. But in a private session, that's something that we excel at, something that we can definitely touch into. So if you've experienced it and you're curious to know more or want to resolve some past trauma, reach out, whether it's to me or to somebody else. Reach out and get the help that you need to help you resolve past trauma. You don't have to live with it any longer than necessary. Reach out. So if you'd like to know if yoga therapy is a good fit for you, let's chat. I'll put a link in the notes where you can set up a free call and we can chat about whether this is a good fit. And remember, it's never too late to live healthier and happier. It just takes the first step, and often that first step is reaching out to somebody else. So I will come back to you next week with another quick tip, and reach out to somebody if you need it. Bye for now.